Okay. And so this kind of leads us into the career fair, and it's coming up on April 12th. So Kristen, tell me a little bit about what folks should expect.
Sure. We're still recruiting for employers to attend, so we have about 10 employers signed up right now and hoping to grow that number up to potentially 40 over the next week or so here coming up. But our fair is April 12th from 1 to 5 at the Gateway Building in Racine. And really they can just expect to have that one-on-one conversation with an employer to find out if maybe they're a good fit for them, as well as Gateway Technical College will be there to talk about different career paths. So if you're thinking about going back to school or you're just not sure and you want to talk to someone, someone can be there to assist you with that.
And I think what's great about this is the face-to-face time, because oftentimes when you're starting to look for a new job, you think, gosh, you know, my resume is just going to get shuffled in this pile with everyone else's. How do you set yourself apart? So this is something that unique that you all can offer.
Definitely. Individuals will have a chance to talk one-on-one. They should plan to be dressed professionally. They wouldn't have to wear a suit, but they also don't want to come wearing ripped jeans or anything like that.
So some nice dress slacks, maybe a sweater or jacket if they have one.
Sure.
And what kind of things should folks have on hand with them?
They should definitely bring copies of their resumes. And they should bring a notepad and pen so they can take notes of who they talked to so that they can do follow-up after the event. The employers will be talking to so many job seekers that they won't be able to keep track of who they spoke with. So the prepared job seeker that comes with their notepad will be able to take some notes and then do a really good follow-up.
Right, and along the lines of the resume, it kind of seems like that changes all the time. You know, should you have the objective at the top? Should you not? Kristen, what are some suggestions that you have as far as making sure that your resume is very complete and clear and concise?
Yeah, I think we see over the years it changes a lot. But we also, on our staff at the Workforce Development Center, we have career counselors as well as employment consultants that can sit with you maybe potentially before the career fair to go through your resume and kind of help you with it and assist you along the way if you need to update it or change a few things, or maybe you want to condense it to one page or broaden it to 2 pages. We have a resume lab that you can get assistance with, as well as if you need to print some resumes before you come. We have a copy machine that individuals can use for free to get their resume printed on resume paper, so it's nice and professional and up to date before you go.
Yeah, don't want it on any crinkled paper like I have sitting here, a bunch here in my lap. What about any type of cover letter? Is that something, or references that folks should bring?
They probably wouldn't need them for the career fair because if the employer wants to interview them, they can ask for those later. They should have them, but they wouldn't have to have a copy for every employer they talk to.
And how about, I remember in the past just doing stories and folks saying, be leery if somebody wants to hire you right on the spot. How do you feel about that?
It would be unusual these days for somebody to hire on the spot, especially with the days of background checking and drug testing. Typically employers wouldn't hire on the spot. And if somebody was willing to hire on the spot, usually there's some kind of condition that the job seeker would have to pass in order to really get that job.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of something maybe that used to happen, but now it's you know, so many people fighting for that one position that they do have to be selective on that. And Kristen, you all are still taking applications from employers, correct?
We are.
Up until when?
You know, really, if they're interested until the day before or so, we're definitely, you know, wanting to take them on. But we have a lot of information on our website, so employers as well as job seekers can always visit our website to learn more. And, you know, if their employers are still interested, like I said, we'll take them up until, you know, a couple days before the fair.
Okay, fantastic. Well, there are so many more programs within the Workforce Development Center to talk about, so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll tell you about some more things that you can learn about at the Workforce Development Center in Racine.